But outside of that, you wouldn't consider it.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
I am that dude, Bodkins.
And DP lost like, deep. Yeah.
Right. Where he's wondering he's like, I can't.
Patty. One style, like no weight classes.
Yeah, basically, like I said, there's been a couple guys that are like,
it's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy.
That's just not my mentality, bro.
Yeah. Leave the ladder down. That's my always like, hey, somebody helped you out. Why not help somebody else out? Return.
Give a big round of applause for the one and only Bodkins Show.
Or bringing Craig Counsell down the interstate. In a move unexpected. I had people.
I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Bodkins Show. This is our weekly Sunday morning show. We kind of dump everything out from this past week. Solo show today. So no Johnny Cruz. He's got some family in the house. So, but nonetheless, wanted to talk about just, things that have been happening. Obviously, we didn't do one last week because we did this big Super Bowl show. And speaking, well, let me back up before we get into the Super Bowl. So yesterday, I'm at the gym working out, and guy taps me on the shoulder, and this guy is, one of them big cock diesel motherfuckers that have probably been in the gym, 20 years. Like, the type, right? Just the type that just fucking eat, sleep, fucking gym. And it is what it is, like a cool guy, right? I've never really encountered with this guy, never really even talked to this guy, but he just says, hey man, could you spot me? First of all, I hate fucking spotting people. I literally hate it. Like, I don't want to, but you're like in the gym, it's one of them obligations where you're obligated to spot somebody. Like, those are one of the things, like you have to say yes, because like you don't want to be the dick and be like, nah, I can't, man, because like, there's not that many people in there, and I hate situations like that where you're obligated to say yes. Like, you have to say yes. First of all, like, I don't want to do this, but sure. So then, like, my thought, bro, he's like, I don't want to die today. Well, I don't want you to die either. And you're just going to trust a complete fucking stranger that you just fucking tapped on the shoulder to help you out and make sure you don't fucking die? How about you just take a little bit of weight off, guy, and, and decrease your amount of weight, and, you don't have to max as much. You don't have to. That way you're not trusting me, a complete stranger who has no idea who you are, to help with your life, and I'm like, save your life. I just hate situations like that. Like, what are we doing? Why are you making me do this? So I have to go spot him. I help him out, says thanks. But nonetheless, like, I just hate situations like that. Like, I'm not a big max guy. And if you're going to work out by yourself, probably shouldn't do that. Like, I don't want to, like, you're like, I don't want, and then just say, I don't want to die today. Well, I don't want you to fucking die either, guy. But here we are. Like, you're going to put your life in my hands. Wrong person. You don't know me. Not that shit. What if I wasn't paying attention? And then you die, and then your death is on my conscience for the rest of my life. I don't like it. But anyway, back into, that's just, I digress, but I just wanted to kind of get that out. Like, does anybody else have any situations like that where shit you have to say fucking yes to? You have to say yes, right? Like, you have to say yes, like, because you're expected to. Like, how does that situation go if I'm like, hey, nah, I don't feel comfortable doing that, and then I'm known as the guy that doesn't want to fucking do that shit at the gym? It's just weird. Society's weird. All right. Well, speaking of the Super Bowl, the Eagles absolutely blew the Chiefs out. in the Super Bowl last Sunday. It was just, I mean, the Chiefs were exposed for everything. And I think most of their fans kind of knew their offensive line had been shaken, and they wasn't as good as it had been all season or should have been. But their flaws all showed up on the biggest game. Just wide receivers drop some balls. Patrick Mahomes. That's how you have to beat him. Like, that's what's crazy. It's like the blueprint is there. You have to rush 4 and cover on the back end. Like, you have to get home on the front 4. And the Eagles did that. Remember the Super Bowl a couple years ago? The Bucs did that a few years ago too in that Super Bowl, and that's how they won in a very similar fashion. And here the Eagles are. I mean, they just absolutely dominated. I like seeing the clips. Sirianni, like, go for it. Like, they're the big play to Smith. Like, just call it up. Like, we score here, it's over. Like, and sure enough, I mean, Kellen Moore calls it up, and they score on that play. Cooper John, my guy from Iowa, interception, pick 6, like his first interception, and it's returned for a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Pretty awesome. But man, they had, like, you just knew. Once, I think it was I don't know who it was, but when they were down 17-0 and they get another interception and they scored, and they're just like, it's fucking over. Like, they had no answer. The Chiefs had no answers. And can people stop with this fucking negative fucking narrative that the Chiefs dynasty's over? They stink, a fucking fraud check or whatever the fuck these kids want to say today. They still have Patrick Mahomes, who's a generational fucking quarterback. They still have a Hall of Fame fucking head coach. Who knows what happens with Travis Kelce? He may or may not retire. It seems like, he could be on the back end of his career. All we know that he didn't play great in that game. I think Travis could probably make more money outside of the NFL than being in the NFL. The podcast with him and his brother's pretty good. Obviously, he's dating one of the most famous women on the planet, and that's not saying like he's not going to make, he's going to make money. He's been in some TV shows, been in some acting. So I could definitely see Travis Kelce decide to hang it up. You can tell he's lost a little bit of his step. But the Chiefs will retool. They'll be right there next year. Like, if they're back in the Super Bowl next year, I don't think anybody would be surprised. Like, so let's stop with that fucking notion. I mean, for the Eagles, the Eagles, they pretty much running the same team back. Like, they've paid everybody on offense. Their defense is a bunch of guys on the defense are in their first, still in their rookie contract. So, but then once eventually they're going to start picking and choosing who they're going to pay on that team. That offensive line, I mean, does Lane Johnson retire? Who knows? But they're going to pretty much run everybody back. They figured that out. Obviously, new offensive coordinator again for Jalen Hurts. I saw a thing like since 2016 between college and the pros, he's pretty much had a new OC every year, which is wild to think. So, they'll bring everybody back. They're going to be right there. They might be the favorites. And I mean, I hate to say like who's the favorite here at fucking February 16th, a week after the Super Bowl. But I mean, they'll be right there. I mean, Howie Roseman's done well. They got the right pieces. That team seems to like Sirianni. They seem to want to play for everybody else. Kellen Moore is gone. Like I was just saying, he is now the new head coach of the Saints. And that might have been the worst spot for him to go. Like, just like all the open head coach openings, I probably would have put the Saints as one of just the absolute worst spots. They don't have a good draft pick. Their fucking cap is fucking awful. But we'll see what Kellen Moore does there. Who will be the Eagles' new OC? I mean, Hurts will have to, another new OC, but hopefully they can kind of figure that out. and kind of get some continuity there. But hey, I mean, the Eagles, this was what happened 2 years ago. Remember, all their coordinators left, became the new head coaches, and now they're going to replace another offensive coordinator. So they might struggle a little bit just on that fact, but who knows? Who knows? They went through it once, and they'll have to do it again. But the talent is stacked for the Eagles. They have a stacked roster, and they're really fucking good. And they're probably going to win it again. I mean, they could win it again. Not probably, but they could. So, but yeah, Kellen Moore now the new Saints. They finally get the head coach. I believe the Jags are still searching for a general manager. I believe that's about the last opening, and it's getting down close to the here for the Jags because, we got the combine in just a few weeks, in 2 weeks. Then you're going to have, so how's that going to work out for their new general manager? The free agency will be popping off. And speaking of free agency with this, I mean, we're going to open up a quarterback, kind of like a quarterback carousel here. The Jets told this week Aaron Rodgers, hey, see you later. It's being, you never know. And Aaron will kind of probably come on and dispute some things to say he really wanted to play again. And he told the Jets he had another crack at it year two. And I don't think the Jets were really that interested. I don't think Aaron Glenn, it seems like, was that interested. Wants to build his own culture, wants to start fucking, hey, we're going to scrap all this shit and kind of build this thing up. And rightfully so. That's why they hired him to be the head coach. So it's also being reported they kind of told Aaron, hey, no more Pat McAfee if you want to be here. And he's pretty much said bros before hoes. So that may have caused a rift, and now it's, so who knows if whatever reports are, and who knows if Aaron's going to play or not, but at least the Jets have already made the decision, hey, you can play, but you ain't going to play here. So Aaron Rodgers, if he decides to play, will be a free agent. You got Justin Fields who's a free agent. Russ Wilson's a free agent. A lot of reports about Russ going back to linking back up with Pete Carroll and the Raiders. So will that happen? I don't know. We'll see. It seems like they're getting a deal done with the Steelers. Who knows? But Fields, Kirk Cousins is going to be a free agent. Jameis Winston. Who knows what the Vikings do with Sam Darnold? I'm a proponent of bringing Sam back if I'm the Vikings. Figuring out a 1 to 2 year deal because you don't know how JJ McCarthy's going to be. So why not? I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, Aaron, go fulfill the prophecy, right, of the Vikings and doing the cycle like Brett Favre did the Packers. Kind of wash out with the Jets and then have a resurgent year with the Vikings." I don't think that Aaron's going to do that. I don't think that the Vikings really want that. Now, I mean, maybe they do, but for all the shit that Aaron got this year, his stats tell you that he had a pretty good year. But like Aaron says, has stated in the past, some people's down years are people's career years. So, I saw a question on X this week, and somebody's like, is Aaron Rodgers the first ballot Hall of Famer? And the answer is absolutely yes. I mean, Brett Favre was a first ballot Hall of Famer, and Aaron had a better career than Brett Favre. So, 3-time MVP, multiple NFC Championship games, Super Bowl winner. So the answer is absolutely yes. There's first ballot, hammer it down. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, Sterling Sharp got in last week. Finally for the Packers, and Shannon Sharp always, he's always said, I'm the first ballot Hall of Famer, but I'm the first Hall of Famer in my family, but I'm the second best player in my family. So now his brother finally gets to join him, and they become, how about this? They become the first brothers, and not the Mannings, to both go in the Hall of Fame. Eli doesn't get in. I've seen some outcry from Giants fans. Jim Behringer, a shout out to Jim. He kind of put it out there that, Eli's a Hall of Famer, but he's not. It's okay that he's not first ballot, and he probably isn't going to be first. He wasn't first ballot. No, I think that's okay. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. two-time Super Bowl winner, two-time, but 0 MVPs. Did you in the entire time that Eli was playing, did you ever say that's the best quarterback in the league? Eli Manning is the best quarterback in the league. Did you ever say that the entire time he was playing? Absolutely fucking no, you didn't. Not once. He was always maybe the 6th best quarterback in his league. I mean, I know he played with some all-time, again, like in the era of some all-time greats, but like that's the thing about the Hall of Fame. Those are the greats. Like those guys are gonna get, like, I mean, guys that were better than him. Ben Roethlisberger was better than him. Manning, his brother's better than him. Drew Brees was better than him. I know Brees has got one less Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers is better than him. He got one less Super Bowl. I mean, that's the thing. If Eli didn't have these 2 Super Bowls against Tom Brady, nobody, like, and he is top 10 in a lot of different stats. So like that qualifies him to kind of get in once you look at his stats. But if he did have the 2 good Super Bowls, but that was it. Like those are the only 2 runs. Like he in the playoffs. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was kind of mid outside of those 2 years. So those two runs that they had. So but like to me he's like Phillip Rivers-esque. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't expect Phillip Rivers to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I expect him to eventually get in, but I wasn't surprised that Eli didn't get in the first time. I mean, if you wanted to tell me he got in, he's gonna get in. Like, let's just get rid of this stupid notion of like, oh, it's first ballot, second ballot. Who gives a shit? A Hall of Famer's a Hall of fucking Famer. He'll get in eventually. Just wasn't this year. Like, the first ballot. So, and that's okay. Like, it's okay. Who else? Oh, Reggie Wayne. He's like, I felt like he should be. He'll eventually. I think he should eventually get in. Like some of these guys are going to take a while. I mean, it took Sterling Sharp years to get in. Years, decades to get in, and finally gets in. So, and Sterling was that. His career was cut short due to injury. Like he would have been, his numbers probably would have been through the roof with him and Brett Favre together. But nonetheless, so. But I was kind of talking back to the NFL here, and just kind of talking about like where's I don't know where any of these guys are going to go. I'm not going to pretend that I know where these guys are going to go, but those are just some of those free agents. Oh, I got Dak saying that what'd he say? Oh, the Cowboys are right there with the Eagles. Are like I get you're in that. Again, it goes back to like my opening dialogue, right? Like, what's he supposed to say? Like, hey, do you think you guys? Yeah, we're close. Like, we're close. We need a piece here or there, and we're close. Like, what's he supposed to say? So what's he supposed to like? Nah, we're not. We're fucking far away. Our fucking owner's an idiot. So it's, in those lose-lose situations, like he's in, now he has to say like, yeah, we're close. And then the media is going to ridicule him because they're not close. And we all know that he's not close and he's lying to us. And we all know he's lying. He's lying to himself, but that's what he's supposed to say, right? Like, what do you want him to say? Nah, fuck, we fucking suck. I mean, appreciate the honesty, but that's just going to that's only going to cause problems in the workplace. Like, imagine you go to work and you tell your fucking coworkers, this fucking place sucks. Like, you fucking suck. Like, this owner sucks. Like, the place, people, all this shit is fucking sucky. Like, yeah, you can't really have the morale like that, right? So, but, Anyway, that pretty much kind of sums up the NFL news real quick. Not really, like the Dolphins released a couple guys here. They released Mostert, Kendall Fuller. So, I mean, they're trying to clear out some cap space as we get ready for, smoke season. I mean, it's going to be smoke season in the NFL for the next 2 weeks. Till April, till draft. Don't believe anything. Is kind of what I always say. We'll see what happens in free agency with some of these teams, but let's go ahead. We'll move forward here and talk a little baseball, baby. Pitchers and catchers are finally reporting. And none other than this past week, in case you missed it, Alex Bregman spurns my Cubs and goes to the Red Sox. So we'll see how they do. That division's going to be pretty interesting. I know the Yankees are going to be right there. Obviously the Orioles, but they've lost, Statlander or Salantander, or whatever the fuck his name is, and they lost Corbin Burns. So how will they retool? The Red Sox added some pieces, obviously Bregman and a couple others. So we'll kind of see here. Let me look. I was gonna look at. I mean, from what if the Cubs losing out on Bregman kind of sucks, and they offered him from what I heard, a pretty decent deal, but the Red Sox kind of. I mean, I don't like to overpaid, because you get what you're getting what people are willing to pay you. So. Andy, I don't know. I mean, this roller coaster, it's been a roller coaster ride for the Cubs. I feel like this offseason, it's always like we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down. Like, we got a team that can compete this year. I would have loved to have Bregman. I would have told you that, hey, we could be in the NLCS and probably lose to the Dodgers. I'm not a huge fan of Jed Hoyer. He's made some questionable decisions, but I think a lot of that has to do with Tom Ricketts. I think Ricketts is just fucking, this whole break-even bullshit that they said. Like, I don't believe that at all. Like, you're making way too much fucking money. They made too much money. So, I don't know. I don't think we're going to go to the World Series this year. Like, I don't look at this roster and be like, hey, we got a World Series team. I think we got a team that can win the NL Central and maybe make the playoffs. Obviously, if we win the Central, you're going to make the playoffs. But we'll have to see, man. I don't know. I don't have high hopes. Like, I think we could win the division, and then just see what happens. I mean, if you're playing playoff baseball, I guess that's a plus. But I feel like we're a piece or two away. I do like our rotation. I feel like we need to add one more bat. We'll see what these young kids that are coming up. They're high on the Shaw kid. They're high on a couple other guys. So we'll have to see what what happens. So I was trying to find this Bregman deal. Oh, Bregman, 3 years, $120 million for the Red Sox gave Alex Bregman. So he chose the Red Sox, and after he turned down some decent money from the Astros. So Scott Boras is his agent, and you never know what you're dealing with when you're dealing. With Scott Boras, it's always questionable. So, but a lot of pressure on my Cubs, Andy. A lot of pressure on our Cubs to perform well this year. I think a lot of pressure on Craig Counsell. Last year, obviously, his initial year not so great, and he watches his former ball club win the division. But to me, this is it. Like, this is it. Like, we're going to have to see where we're at with the Cubs and how many times it's like, oh, are we like a rebuild team? Like, I don't ever feel like right now, I feel like we're not rebuilt. Like, we're not in a rebuild mode, but we're not like going for it either. It's like we do things like, oh, we're going to add, Tucker from the Astros. We traded for Tucker for the Astros, but then we're going to hassle him fucking $2 million or some shit. So it doesn't go to arbitration. Like, the fuck are we doing? This guy's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, and we're already haggling him over fucking $2 million. Just pay the man his fucking money. Pay that man his money. Make him nice and cozy. Make him want to be in Chicago so he fucking signs a long-term deal here. Like, those are the problems I have with the Cubs right now. Well, that's pretty much the in the baseball world. I mean, we'll talk a little bit more, and then we get to the NBA. So since we last left, we last talked. Luka obviously made. I guess Mac McClung, nice, took over the 3 dunk contest. So that was last night. I didn't watch. I mean, this fucking. Max found his sketch. I guess I didn't watch any of the skills competition last night. I guess Tyler Hero won. Luka is now on the Lakers. We talked about that the 2 weeks ago. We talked about all the trades a little bit. I did like that, for the Lakers. The Mavs got to be in panic mode here. I've heard a lot of different things kind of coming out of that situation. What's this here? NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says he believes Dallas Mavericks had no ulterior motives behind their decision to trade Luka. So there's been some discussion about this Luka trade, is that the Mavs owner wanted to get a casino and they said no. The city said no. And then so then she's like, well, fuck it. We're just going to suck ass. So they trade our best player. It seems like Anthony Davis is obviously, he got hurt as well in like his debut. So imagine that. And now they're kicking fans out for saying fire Nico and all types of shit. Man, this can't be. I mean, it's bad. It's bad for the Mavs. Mark Cuban's just got to be, upset that he made a business decision, and as far as like selling the team, but now he's got to watch them. Draymond calls NBA games boring, no substance. Amen to that. Tonight's got a weird All-Star game. I don't understand it. It's the All-Star break, All-Star game. Who gives a shit? We'll pick up a little bit more of the NBA kind of going forward. A lot of good college basketball yesterday as well. Number one, we had number one, number two, and number one. Auburn kind of didn't really take Alabama to the woodshed, but handled them pretty easily. 94-85. Alabama loses. You'll see Duke jump up to 2, I'm for sure, as they handled Stanford yesterday. Houston and Arizona went at it 62-58 in a close game. Houston pulls it out. Wisconsin upsets Purdue. 16-7 there. 94-84. Texas A&M beats Arkansas 69-61. Michigan State handles business here. Kentucky loses to Texas 82-78 in an upset. Kansas loses to Utah yesterday. How about that in a big upset? 74-67. Mississippi State beats Ole Miss 81-71. Clemson beats Florida State yesterday 72-46. So in that game, Auburn beating Bama. That's a little bit of revenge for the football area, but that was in Tuscaloosa nonetheless too. So how about that? But also real quick, Michigan State, Tom Izzo has now passed Bobby Knight for most Big Ten wins. So kudos to Tom Izzo. There was a time where, in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, if you played all 4 years of Tom Izzo, you were guaranteed to go to an NBA Finals run. So, We'll have to see. Let me look. I was going to look at the. To me, the four best college team right now is. I really like this. Duke is really good. Cooper Flagg is a phenomenal ball player. Auburn's obviously really good. Bama, Houston's played. Tennessee is really good. So. We'll have to see kind of here as we get closer to March Madness. We're only a month away. Actually, really, about a month away. Here we are. It's 3 weeks away, 4 weeks away from, entering March Madness time, baby. I really got to lock in here. So I think that's pretty much it. I don't really have. kind of talked a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Real quick, we need to got a new Oh, so I didn't really do like a music review, but I did want to talk about the Super Bowl halftime show. I thought Kendrick killed it. I thought it was an absolute phenomenal halftime show. If you didn't like the halftime show probably wasn't for you anyway. It was one of the most watched halftime shows, I think they said, all the time. I thought it was, it wasn't the best. Like, you know, it wasn't Prince. It wasn't Michael Jackson. I think those two right up there. It was very good. I thought it was better than, I don't know. So it was like kind of like a solo one. I thought it was kind of better than Rihanna. I thought it was better than The Weeknd's. You know, we like just there, you know, that there is huddle sense, things like that in there that, you know, he talks about, and just, you know, certain things. And maybe you didn't know about the Drake and Kendrick beef, but you know about it now. You know about it now. Yeah, I think the only people that had a worse Sunday is than Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs was probably Drake. I mean, an absolute. I thought he crushed it. Loved it. Played the hits. Played a lot of his new stuff. Obviously off his new album, and good. Like, it was an entertaining show. I thought, you know, I went back and rewatched it because I was at a kind of like a Super Bowl party, and you know, kids are playing and loud and stuff. But I went and rewatched it and missed. So like, but man, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed the whole thing. I know people seems like everybody's indifferent on it. I hated it. I don't understand a word he was saying. Well, that's, you would rather, that's not your type of music. So you can't please everybody. I enjoyed it. Next year they'll probably, you know, do Post Malone or somebody. I could see Post Malone doing a halftime show. How about Post Malone? Speaking of Post Malone, how about him covering Nirvana? I thought that was pretty good. I saw the on Saturday Night Live, whatever it's called, the music show or whatever, homecoming music show. So on their 50th. So yeah, I actually need to watch the whole thing. There's a couple. I just saw kind of a lot of clips online. Saw clips on. So yeah. Other than that, that pretty much kind of sums up the. I just want to talk a little bit about. Oh, we do got to talk about our news segment that will be, and that is Around the Web. So, every week I'll bring up a new, interesting or something that you know, you'd be hearing on the internet. Whether I did kind of check to see if this one's true. And I'm gonna I'm gonna read this here. So, Democratic Mississippi State Senator introduced a contraption begins at erection act, or conception begins at erection act. Essentially, men who are ejaculating without into an embryo could be fined. Are you fucking kidding me? So in Mississippi, in the state of Mississippi, you can fuck your cousin. By God, you can fuck your cousin, but you better not be jacking off. No, sir. In fact, the hefty fines. The first offense is for $1,000, $5,000 for second offense, and $10,000 for subsequent infractions after that. What the fuck are we doing? So what do you got to be 18 or older? Like I didn't read that far into it. But I'm guessing 18, right? Like how do you report that? How does that get found? You see this right here? This is his cum rag. He's been jerking off into this rag. Now we have to find his ass. Like who's doing this shit? Fucking dumb. Oh shit! In Mississippi, you can fuck your cousin, but they don't want you jerking off. Oh my god! I mean, we're like, how do you report that? And whose fucking dumbass idea was this? Whose dumbass idea was this to be like, you know what? Yeah. You know what? We got to stop this jerking off. From now on, the only time they're nutting is in a female to make babies. Oh my god! This is what's wrong with the world. We got dumbasses like that. That senator trying to put this law in. I mean, Jesus! I'm not moving to Mississippi anytime soon. I mean, the hotel's going to be called. Hey, you got to be careful. You go to a hotel. The maid. Sir, I have to report you. We found your crispy socks. Looks like you've been jerking off at least 3 times. Shit, we need to fucking work out a deal. Please don't report me for this law. You call 911. We got somebody in room 225. I hear him. He's definitely jerking off. I ain't seen no woman in there. The fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? Oh shit. Anyway. So yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to get that story out. So also before we get out of here, we gotta do our top 5 things to do without the NFL, right? You got Sundays free. What the fuck are we supposed to do with our time in life? So here it is. Number 5, watching other sports, college basketball, March Madness. We got that, obviously you can watch, hopefully it's some good games on today. Number 4, find a new show to watch, or all the shows that you missed, all the movies, TV shows that you missed that you haven't been watching because you've been watching football, Sunday, Monday, Thursdays, and all, Saturdays and all that. Now you can find a new show to watch. That's number 4. Number 3, the honey-do list. All you guys who are married out there, the honey-do list has been, it's been backing up for the last few months. It's time to knock that out. Number 2, spend quality time. Number 2, I'll say, go out, exercise, go hiking, go do something. Obviously not right now. It's fucking cold here in Missouri. It's going to get worse. And number 1, spend quality time with the fam. That is number 1. Find, watch, whatever it is, play some cards with the fam. We've been ignored, we know how it is during football season. You're glued to the TV, you're glued to the phone. Spend some quality time with the fam. Get to know them again. Yeah. Other than that, hopefully Johnny Cruz will be back next Sunday. This pretty much concludes a nice little episode of the Bodkins Show. We'll be back next Sunday, 8 a.m. Central. These solo shows can only go so long when you're talking to yourself. So, we'll see you then. Be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. I'll see you next Sunday, 8 a.m.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.